There's one thing that absolutely drives me crazy about modern handlebar tape, and it's that they're absolutely like single use only, and when you undo them a little bit, it becomes a hot mess. By this I mean the adhesive is so strong that when you undo it, it just eats up the tape. Or worse, where the adhesive sticks to your handlebar, when you undo it, it just leaves a big pile of goop. A good example is this pair of handlebars. To clean this off, I literally have to go through and scrape it with a razor. And this just makes it a real pain in the butt to put on the brake levers and all that stuff. And because of what I do, I'm always tinkering, adjusting things. That means undoing the tape fairly often. And most of the tape I've used recently has been really, really disappointing. And I just have to go out and get a new roll of tape. That's why I'm pretty excited to try this stuff out. This is by a company called Grep, and it's a handlebar cloth. You can see their tagline here. It says a handlebar tape that lasts. What's unique about this is that it's a woven cloth material. Think new bombs, but a little bit thicker, and it also doesn't use any adhesive. I know what you're thinking, well then how does it stick to your handlebars? Well, let's take a look. This is how it comes packaged. It's pinned onto itself. Let's remove that. On the back here, it has these woven rubber bits that will grip onto your handlebar. Another cool thing about this tape, and one reason I picked this bright blue color, is that they're supposed to be machine washable. If you do decide to wash this, you have to put it in a wash bag, so a mesh bag to contain it all, otherwise it's gonna get caught up in the big spinning thing. And when you dry it, they do recommend air drying it, not putting it in the dryer, otherwise this will shrink. Grep is based in Sweden. All the materials are sourced within the EU. There are some dealers in the US. I believe Crust Bikes is a dealer. Some local bike shops might have them. They came out with a really sparse color palette, but now they've got all sorts of colors. This is their, I think, what's this called? This is their Blue Radiance, and I'm gonna put it on the Hachita because I've got already kind of a bluish mint green tape over there. In terms of pricing, it's actually not too bad. It's fairly competitive with some more premium tape. On the Crust website, this is $34. There are tapes that easily cost more, that are rubberized and supposedly squishy, but when you go to undo them a little bit, there's all your money. It comes with these pretty interesting expander plugs. So this part would go into the handlebar, holding the tape in by friction, and then you kind of just pop this in to expand it. It seems like you should be able to use those expanders that have an Allen key and expand it that way, but we'll try it out with this first. Also, another interesting note about this tape is that you actually wrap it in reverse. So instead of starting at the end of the handlebar, you start at the top and work your way back. And you can either cut or just leave the excess and stuff it inside the bar end, which I think I might actually try. So let's put on the Hachita and see how hard it is to install and what it feels like. I'm gonna undo this lizard skins tape, which I have on here. The funny thing is I've been really frustrated by tape like destroying itself, that on this particular wrap, I didn't even bother undoing the adhesive since I know that I'm still fiddling with this bike. The tape does have a specific side, and what you want to do is have the pointy bit point to the outside. So in this case, it would be pointing in this direction. So this is on the right side of the handlebar. So they recommend having the point tucked underneath. So that's what I'm going to do. And also applying some tension so it holds. So far, pretty easy peasy, and if you make a mistake, it's not a huge deal because you don't have adhesive to contend with. One thing I will point out, just putting this on, is that it's not very cushioned. It's more cushion than new bombs, but less cushion than even just like a pretty plain cork tape. So if you do require more cushion on your handlebars, I'd get those kind of gel inserts before wrapping it. Or wear padded gloves when you ride bikes, which is typically what I do, so it shouldn't be a big deal. One kind of nice thing I like about this tape is that because it's fairly limp and lays flat, you don't have this big coil to throw around. This part here is a little tricky without leaving an exposed part here. I'm gonna not worry about it too much for now, but it's something to keep note. Okay, so we've got a lot of excess here. Again, I'm just gonna shove it all the way in without even cutting it. I know there's probably some roadie out there that's freaking out about the three grams worth of tape that's inside the handlebar. Okay, so I've got the tape on. That was pretty simple. Only thing you have to do is start from the top here and wrap it backwards. It feels pretty good. It's not as cushioned as a cork or silicone tape or anything like that. Slightly more cushioned than regular new bombs. There's a little bit of a sheen on it. I think it's brand new. That might dull down just a bit. Interestingly, I posted that we were going to try this out on Instagram, and a bunch of people shared their experiences. One person put theirs in the dryer and it shrunk, so don't do that. Another person has had theirs for a year with good results. My goal is to take it out on some rides, get it kind of intentionally dirty if it will finally stop snowing outside, and then wash it and see what it looks like after. Also see how it frays over time. I do think that if you want a softer kind of control experience, then you definitely want to get those gel inserts for more cushions or just wear cushion gloves. But so far, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. One tricky part is where the band is. There wasn't an extra strip to hide this, so I might go back, undo this, and try to get that a little bit neater. And I can, because there's no adhesive to gunk up the handlebars or eat itself. What do you think of this cloth handlebar solution? Are you guys like me, kind of frustrated with how expensive tape can be and how they're only single use? Have you guys tried the grep tape before? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this content, found it interesting, hit up the merch store. We've got some fun stickers like our Save the Derailleur stickers and our No Lycra No Rule sticker. And as always, keep the supple side down.